So good evening folks, and welcome back to another video. Before we start the review, make sure that you read at least issue 1 of the 5 issue series called Buried Long Long Ago by Mad Cave Studios. They were based on true events that I won't unpack all in this video because there are multiple layers to this story. This retelling that there are things that you might want to figure out for yourself whether you like it or not, and I hope you understand the reasons why. Thank you for your understanding. Let's get into the review after I take my first sip of tea. Much better. So good evening folks, and welcome back to another video. Sometimes you encounter something and sometimes you see things on Twat, etc. I recently saw something posted by a YouTuber called Comics Matter. I think his name was called your boy Zach, and for some reason picked up a fight with, or an online argument with another creator that basically didn't do anything. But see, now I don't understand why he is picking those fights either, but that's all I have to say about it. The discussion was about whether comics were doing good or not. Well, at least American comics, they're in a terrible state right now. Fortunately, there are other alternatives, for me at least. I can go to the European market, close to my roots. I could get manga, I could get webcomics, and also have a subscription to Global Comics Gold, where I can read tons of titles from big publishers to indie titles for $7 a month. That's about what I've seen, €70 a year, or $70. I was thinking euros. It's kind of funny. And for you that you need to at least dig, like in Deep Rock Galactic, you need to dig through a whole bunch of dirt before you hit, before you strike gold. In this case, I accidentally, and not accidentally, I had this in my backlog on Global Comics for quite some time. Sometimes you strike an unexpected gem, and just in time for the spooky season called Halloween, and I found it. So for those of you for those of you who I'm struggling with words today. For those of you who don't know how I do these types of videos, I should go to, let's say, an indie comic from just from the current year, and we basically get through who did the writing, art, covers, etc. We give a little synopsis. We go to the breakdown in this case because there's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot of layers to the story that is a retelling that I start to read after I read at least issue 1 to 3, and this got me interested. This was a title where I thought, hey, this one deserves more attention, because I've seen some American YouTubers talk about it, but not many, unfortunately, especially in this season. This season is perfect for it. And to go to the breakdown, we give the good, bad and the ugly. We follow with a final score that goes from 10 out of 100 till 100 out of 100, with 70 out of 100 being the average score. You could pretty much sum up almost every American superhero comic, but this one is not it. And that's not all. I'll also be using the League of Comics Geeks to give you the thoughts of other readers, because there's some positive opinions about it, and some pleasantly surprised, but not for me. I kind of expected it. So and of course there might be some things you might disagree with me about. If that's the case, no problem, totally fine, but like the Captain Fru will say, try to keep it civil. Now the goal of these types of videos, especially during the Halloween months, is trying to bring back, and like some other YouTubers that I mentioned, or at least one, to bring back, the old school time. A simpler time where you could just discuss whether a comic's good or not, which character could be who, if there are layers to the story or not, etc. Those are the discussions that I want to have. And to discuss the perspective from which point of view the story is told. So without further ado, grab yourself a cup of tea, some bites, because this is going to be a long ride. There will be 5 videos in total. This will be the first of 5. And after which, in the 5th video, I give my final verdict of the whole series and tell you what is the most financially, for some, reasonable thing to do, where to get it digitally, etc. So let's get into the video. So, who is the team? Here's the ultimate cover, by the way. A very good one. The team is writer is Anthony Cleveland. The art is done by Alex Cormack. I hope I spelled his name correctly. The letters are by Justin Birch. And the cover art, cover A, this B, is done by Alex Cormack, and Colleen Doran did the B cover, which you see over here, which in my opinion is slightly better than the other, but with the other you get the whole family together, so that's to show a little bit off. And the production and design are by Camilo Sanchez. I hope I spell your name correctly. If not, I'm terrible with names. So nothing personal against you. The editors are James Emmett and Ryan Carroll. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the synopsis and what it's all about. Well, it's based on true events from 1901 till 1908. And Belle Gunness was originally not called Belle Gunness or Gunness. Like I said, I'm terrible with names. She wasn't originally American. Her true name is Brynhild Palsdatter Sturseth. Was from Norwegian origin. Was born in the town of Selbu, a small municipality in the county known as Trøndelag in central Norway. And the people from that area are called Trønders, if I pronounce it correctly, because Norwegian is not my first language. My apologies in advance. And Belle Gunness or Brynhild Palsdatter Sturseth lured dozens of lonely men to her Indiana farm after she migrated in 1886 and settled in LaPorte, Indiana, in the state of Indiana. She lured dozens of lonely men to her Indiana farm, and after she murdered them for money. So she got a lot of ex-husbands that for some reason got killed for financial security, leverage. And she managed to avoid capture and trial, and much of her story remains untold till now. That's why I picked up this track by this Norwegian composer called Untold Stories. So there's a shout out to Alexander Nakarada, that I'm giving him a little wink to your roots, and to others who have migrated from Norway to the USA. And it's a fairy tale retelling of her brutal crimes from the perspective of her 3 young daughters, who soon discover something far worse than their mother on the farm, something that was buried long, long ago. So we take another sip of tea and we go into the breakdown. Oh, I love this Earl Grey. So once upon a time there was a wicked ogress who lived beneath the roots of a hollow tree. Well, we get into the spooky season, so there we go. She coveted anything that shimmered or sparkled and dreamed of one day becoming a queen. As the sun began to set, the ogress would croon sweet lullabies that promised a peaceful rest for lonely, weary adventurers. In the gentle evening sun, the passing traveller saw an angelic maiden with a heavenly voice. Once they crossed into the darkness of the hollow, her true form would lay bare along with her murderous desire. Oh, the mic is working, because I have practiced a lot for this voice. On return from his first skirmish, a foolish young knight was instantly ensnared by the ogre's tender song. "Don't go in, she'll gnaw your bones and trade your soul for gold." That's totally not the voice of a fairy, but I digress. His fairy companion forewarned, but the naive knight did not heed and entered the ogre's domain. From deep within the hollow, the knight below for rescue, but the fairy was powerless. She knew of only one who could save her companion. The fairy raced to the capital, where the knight's elder brother was the commander of many warriors. Unlike his love-blind brother, the commander heeded the fairy, and with his band they charged into the woods to rescue the young knight. They were too late. The ogres had burned the hollow and fled. The commander dug through the ashes, but found only the gnawed bones of his brother. The warriors scattered into the woods to uncover the ogre's trail. The band searched and searched, but the ogress was never found. I already like where this is going. No one knows where she went or what became of her. The end, I guess. So this is basically a fairy tale of, that's kind of the intro to the story itself. We have two of the main characters. Two of the youngest daughters of Belle Gunness, or in this case, Reinhild Pelsdatter Storseth. That's it. I'm sorry, girls. That looks like that's how it ends. There's a blank page after the story, so perhaps there's a misprint. Then again, a lot of the old stories don't have happy endings. Bad book. You should change it next time, Jess. That's not how it should end. So this is basically one of the daughters, the older one. Yeah, fix the whole thing, Jess. It was stupid. I mean, why didn't the first knight just shoot her? Jess is the older daughter over there. Because knights don't use guns, Hattie. Ah, dang it. I thought Jesus used to shoot guys with Moses, but that's a terrible joke. Well, I'm not a knight. I'll shoot her. I got no honor. Now arriving in La Porte, Indiana. Well, oh, that's us. Mama's waiting. Grab the book, Raylan. Wait, what do you think? What happened to the ogress? So Raylan is. I can show with my cursor over there. Is the other one. She wanted us to be queen, right? Maybe she did. Maybe I got the characters wrong, by the way. Come now, the train's stopping. But you think she ever stopped? The ogress? Is she still around? When you're 8 years old. Yeah, it's her. There's no such thing as my girls. You have arrived. Welcome. Mother, hello. My carriage is behind the station. Come bring your bags. Well, you already know where this is going. I couldn't be happier. Your new stepfather name's Patrick Gunness. See that? That's Norwegian for understood, I think. I'm not entirely familiar with Norwegian because it's an entirely different language from my own. Well, not that different, but there is a difference. We greet him, call him father. Don't call him papa. Yes, better. Nice to finally meet you, papa, yeah? I know the word, yes. It means yes, in Dutch, but also yeah. Also Norwegian, there are some things that connect. These with some Scandinavian languages, but I'm a different story, I digress. Yeah, nice to finally meet you, papa. Good, he's a simple man, and we shall help him remain as such. Let's remove the cursor for a bit. You girls will love the farm. You will tell him that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yeah. You were able to read out your books on the train, yeah? Yes, yeah. I read aloud, so Hattie and Raylan could listen. Hattie and Raylan are the two youngest daughters. They behave all the way from Chicago then. I'd love stories that helped. Thank you for those books, Mama. Good, you find a pleasant story. Share it with me, huh? There are so many and she can hardly remember them. The last one she recalls was about an evil ogre who wanted to become a queen. Ha! Want to become a queen? What woman does not hold that wish? Nothing evil about that. Oh, how I love this villainess. Building up momentum. You could see the evil in her face. She's radiating it from body language, etc. She has those dreams, no doubt. So they arrive at the Indiana farm in the, let's see, La Pointe, La Pointe, Indiana. I'm terrible with names. With the horse and their luggage, and they're welcomed by one of their the helpers on the farm, or the husband, the first one at least, the known one. My young beautiful bride, you have returned. Young husband, you flatter me. I'll listen to it. The old country accent is adorable. I miss it so. And she introduced him to the first man. Come, I want you to meet the children. Yes, my oldest Raylan, and my Raylan is the oldest, that's the one over here, and Hattie, the youngest, is over here. Goodness, here they are. It's nice fine to meet you, Papa. Papa, ha! You told her to say that, didn't you? I know, of course not. Apologies. There's no slip, sir. Our family hasn't had a home since our father passed. We've been with our aunt while mother looked for work. I guess finally having us all together made me feel like how things were. Thanks for letting me stay. I love your farm. I love your farm too. They're all dumb to love the farm. I'm sorry to laugh. It's been many years since I've been called Papa, and I was a bit tickled to hear it again. I'm truly jubilant to have you three here. You're home now. Now feel free to take a trot around while you get unloaded, but don't go far. And they're off. How do you wait? He said don't go far. So Hattie is the youngest one. Yep. And they make a run for it. Run between the chickens and the piggies. He said don't go far, but there's piggies, chickies, and a lot of hooks. Oh jeez. A lot of blood. Back to the house now. Time to time for becoming a queen, So this is the pigs are eating some of their food. They're scared away, but they get scared away by something that's rising from the ground. What's that noise? Ha! There's gotta be a lot of odd sounds out there to you girls. This ain't Chicago. It's just a hawk, sweetie. Someone's been staring them up lately. That they feared something. They know I make the best sausage. That's what she said. I had to make the joke. It could be. Pudding is delicious, dear. That you enjoy. I purchased fresh cream after I delivered the insurance papers. The broker give you any scuff? None since you spoke with him. Our policy is now in place. Good. Jessie, could you please see the children to bed? Yes, Mom. So Jessie, the eldest daughter, brings the children to bed. I want you little ones to know how blessed I feel to have you here. These past few years haven't been, I just feel like there's finally a light in my darkness with you. And with your mother too. Nah, you stay. I have something special. Something else you don't. Oh my goodness, what a treat. An orange? If I never had one before, you have said. They're too troublesome to find around here, most of the time. Hush, I don't want the girls to hear. I only found one at the grocer. The window, what is it? Ooh, there's someone staring at them. Just the children, please. Yes, sorry, Mama. She brings them past midnight and they hear something. And Say may blood. I hope I'm I said I'm not that fluent in Norwegian at all. Gasp. Get back upstairs. Not you, Jesse. Mother needs you. Oh no. The meat grinder. It felt terrible. Terrible. Now come sis, you must prepare, yeah? A meat grinder fell from the shelf and struck Mr. Gunness. No, struck my papa's head. Yeah, good. Now you see that? Jesse? See that? A meat grinder, is that right? Yes, sir. So now they're at the police station, getting the police report ready from what I've seen. A very heavy one. And darling, can you tell us how high the shelf was on the wall? Quite high. So I don't even think I could have reached it myself. So how did he bump it if it was so high up? So they make up a lie so that the mother can get away with the money. He was warming his shoes by the stove. He burned himself and fell back into the wall. Then the meat grinder fell from the shelf and struck my papa's head. Besides you and your mother, did anyone else witness this? They have many questions, only we have the answers. Yes, Mama, but no one else, Jess. Only we. Sorry. And you see the creature screaming from the window. No one else saw. Owen stares and whispers, so this after the police thing, or before it, hard to tell. Owen stares and whispers will follow now. Nothing more. They'll soon fade as always. You did well, Jesse. Mother's proud. Thank you, Mama. I'll take care of everything. Now, you tend to your sister's comfort. Comfort them. Tell them a gentle story if it needs to be. And Jesse, see that they never speak of that night again. You understand, yeah? Yeah, Mama. The meat grinder did it. Yes, it was an accident. And Mama said we're never to talk about it again. So they discussed it with the youngest. Told them to never talk about it again with anyone else. So this is from the perspective of the children. It all has to be forgotten, please understand. But hush, no more. Let's read the story. Mama killed him. Didn't she, Jesse? And Jesse slams the book of all her, in rage, actually. Yes, she killed him. And she's going to kill you. And you. And me, if you ever tell anyone. Jesse, you're scaring us. Good, because if you ever tell anyone, she'll do worse than the ogres in that story. She'll crack all your skulls open with the meat grinder, just like Mr. Gunness. Gunness. No, and then she's going to grind our bones through it. If you were still breathing. Just stop. That's why we must never speak of it. It was an accident. See that? I hope I spelled that correctly. And that. So it was an accident. We won't tell. Please stop, Jess, please. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. And back to the ground. The pigs keep screeching. And they find something underneath the grab and the mud. What's going on? And something is rising from it. Something buried long, long ago. Become queen. To be continued. And that's the cover for the second issue. And there's a bunch of other stuff that's not even that interesting. And this back cover. And some purchase details to show that I backed it. So let's get into Good, Bad and Ugly. Well, the first thing is, the cover art is, it's really good. Really sets the tone. And there's also a very nice alternative cover. The B cover. That's good, if not, I'm not saying it's better, but I think you're pretty good to go with any of them. The writing itself is, very, very strong. I love it. And it's a proper retelling from the perspective of the daughters of Belle Gunness. Or, I say in Norwegian, Reinhild Balsdatter Støsef. And, while respecting the source and the history of her, Belle and her former lovers that she murdered for financial stability. She's just pure evil. I love that. But there are layers to it that I come back to later. Decent art, closely European and English, and reminds me a bit of a previous comic that I reviewed called by Lucifer Storm, called Edgein Demon Hunter. But this one has actually more layers to it. It's not just the devil versus heaven versus hell. This has more. This has way more layers to it, and writing is significantly better. But yeah, unlike some horror stories, this one doesn't hold back. It takes risks and shows a lot of blood. And some paranormal things, and I love that. They didn't hold back because it's mature. And to show it from the perspective of the daughters, that's a stroke of genius. And it's a good, great balance between writing and art. It is a little bit rough on the edges, but it's really, as you can see here and here, it's a fairy tale retelling. It's a little rough on the edges, but it kind of fits. I'm not complaining about it. Yeah, things could have been better, etc. A little more, could use a little more detail, but it works. I've nothing bad to say about it. It's a good, great balance between writing and art. But now we go to the minus. The art could have been better, but it suits the setting. It's not for everyone, so if you're more into the realistic American cape slap formula, this one's not for you, pretty much. Sorry, not sorry. And it's not for the faint of heart. So what I mean with not for the faint of heart is for people who don't like mature stories, who might be diehard feminists or diehard conservatives. There might be some things that you might find repelling, or maybe have a good role model, but she's not a good role model at all. But you also need to understand the story, what this is all about. You need to do some, like I said, there's layers to it. You need to do not just read the comic, but also read a little bit about the story of from what is known of Brynhild Pausdatter Stursev, or Belle Gunness, and look at it from the perspective. You need to have, you must not look at it from the perspective of just traditional gender roles, or with the lenses of the 21st century, which is what mistakes a lot of people make, both left and right. You need to have an understanding of both the set time period from the late 1800s till the early 1900s, and a little bit background story of Selbu in Norway during that time period, and understand a little bit of the history behind it. You need to look at with the lenses from both the past with some knowledge that you know from the present. Create a balance between it. Because the reason why she did it is because I can get into that for a little bit. Originally, Selbu, it's really it's central Norway. It's really cool. It was a really cool place, very religious place as well, where there were still some very strong traditional and religious gender roles. And looking back with the knowledge that we have now, Belle Gunness or Brynhild Pausdatter Stursev, back then we would consider that, and there are some articles that I link to that. We would, with the knowledge what we have today about psychology and all that, and neuropsychology and all the things that we know about right now, is back then she would have been diagnosed with antisocial disorder and high-level narcissism, but also very high intelligence. And that environment where she grew up in, that was very, very strict, very religious, and that did nothing to help her. It only made her more cruel, not only just towards animals, but also more manipulative towards other people. And back then, women in Norway didn't have a lot of rights till 1913, where they got voting rights and got some property ownership rights, and a lot of them before that left to follow their husbands to find the American dream, or went by themselves, and she was one of them. So that's one of the layers, and the reason why she did a lot of those things, she found a loophole in the system that where she could get the life insurance of her husbands, and for some reason she managed to stay hidden from the law. She was never caught. But the sole reason why she did it, and why I said there's layers to it, she all did it for financial stability. She was quite a smart businesswoman who knew how the gender roles worked during that time, and she could make herself look very vulnerable, act like it. It's like putting a mask on while hiding your true intentions. And she spun, and she lured him like a siren, until he got caught in her web. Then it was game over. She got the money, and the husband got the sharp end of the axe, or the meat grinder. So, like I said, a lot to unpack. It's not for the faint of heart, but I recommend reading some of the articles that I post in the opinion and in the description down below, and do some background research yourself, because there's a lot to unpack, and I love it. It's one of those gems that you don't find quite often. So we go to the final verdict, and I'll take some parts of the League of Comics Geeks, some of the reviews, which have been very positive for some reason. I'm not surprised. There have been 93 ratings with 4.2, very positive. So we get to one of the reviews that I found pretty interesting. So here is Divine UK, Matt Cave are rapidly rising to the top of my list of favorite publishers, and are regularly featuring very heavily in my weekly pull list. Buried long ago, appears to be another horror banger. I 100% agree. And here's another one by Nico Sauvenoir. I don't even know how to spell that. So when I first read this title, I had no idea this was based off of Belle Gunness, a serial killer who was active in the late 1800s, early 1900s. I went into the story completely blind and got a pretty dark story with some fantastical elements, so you can imagine my surprise when I found out afterwards that this woman was real. I was surprised as well, that's why I did some background checks before making this video. Wow, love the artwork in this. Really enhanced both the plot and the vibe of this issue. It's by XXX Mantra 666, the number of the beast. Really enhances both the plot and vibe of this issue. Tons happened, characters immediately and effortlessly fleshed. Thanks again, Ark, for the assist. And really succeeds at the story and the atmosphere it's presenting. I didn't know there was an element of based on a true story until I came here after reading to rate and review and saw the synopsis. Another one says fun dark read. We like this horror tale of threaded tales. And Blorb says W mom, to be honest. Well, as you can see here, this title got a lot of positive responses, and for once I have to agree with them. But I gave the higher score. I scored it an 86 out of 100. They did a very good job of this, and this is an absolute certified classic, that a hidden gem that should get more attention in my opinion during the Halloween months. But that's the reason why it's a good start to a classic that for some reason doesn't get the attention it deserves. It's perfect for Halloween and or when you're on the road or camping with your pals at the campfire, where you could just share stories and crack one open in memory of Belle Gunness and her deaf boyfriends. So that's all I have to say about this video. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, more Halloween story hours like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, not because you have to. And if you want to see what I created, check out Jarrow Warrior on Global Comics and Gumroad. And this video will definitely get a follow-up because I bought all 5 issues. I still need to download 3 of them. That's all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. And I hope you enjoy reading some of the articles I put in the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao matane!